What is up, you guys? This is your boy Andy Matrix, and I am here. I am here at the beautiful, well, I guess the teaser trailer for Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, produced by Amazon Prime Video. Okay, and you're probably wondering. Okay, and Andy Matrix, you talk about anime, manga, video games, geek culture, and Japanese culture. Yes, geek culture. Lord of the Rings is a franchise that is known world freaking wide. There isn't a country. I think most countries have heard of Lord of the Rings. Japan, all over Europe, South America, Colombia, Mexico. Lord of the Rings has been translated into so many languages. The book alone has been translated into so many languages. I read The Hobbit, and I also watched the movies back in the 2000s a bazillion times. Now, back then I was young, I didn't know a lot, so I can't really remember all the characters. But I know the Hobbits, Frodo, and all these guys. And now Amazon is recreating the or at least trying to continue the Lord of the Rings series, right? And here's a female hobbit. And honestly, I say it is dead on arrival, okay? Dead on arrival, my friends. Right? There's a guy climbing ice. I watched the trailer, and I mean, it looks pretty. It's got regular special effects. Of course, everybody was making fun of this elf. He's supposed to be like kind of like the black elf, the Don Lemont looking elf. Oh man, Don Lemont from CNN found his way to the Rings of Power, right? And basically, this show is dead on arrival. This show is dead on arrival because I don't know if you heard what Amazon said about this show. They criticized Tolkien. Tolkien created a masterpiece. When Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings, it was supposed to be a mythology for England, for British people, something that British people could be proud of, something for the country of England, right? However, as a result of creating and writing an amazing story, the entire world freaking loves it, right? And you don't have to be British, you don't have to be a Caucasian person to enjoy Lord of the Rings. I'm Latino, I'm Spanish, okay? I'm right there between a yellow banana and caramel in skin color, okay? I'm right there. And I freaking love Lord of the Rings. Am I white? No, but see the woke Hollywood, that's what they want you to think. That unless you cannot relate to these characters, you are unable to relate to these characters unless they look like you, unless they somewhat look like you, right? Excuse me. That's what they always say. Oh, and they criticize, this is what pissed me off. They criticize Tolkien's work, Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, saying that it's not diverse enough. It's not inclusive enough. Guess what? It doesn't fucking have to be because it's its own world. And they're saying, oh, we're making Lord of the Rings for everybody, right? For everybody. That's what we're making Lord of the Rings for. And I just had to facepalm because, first of all, Lord of the Rings itself is actually very diverse. There's elves, there's dwarves, okay? There's the forest elves, the high elves, right? It's actually very diverse. Just because you don't see people of different skin colors does not mean it's not diverse. Okay, there's different languages in Lord of the Rings. But hey, I mean, because there's no like dark-skinned people, then it must not be diverse or inclusive. Oh, it doesn't have enough gay characters, right? There's not enough gay people. There's not enough transgenders. There's not enough bisexuals. There's not enough lesbians. There's not enough this, right? Unless the movie has all these fucking things, unless the TV show has all these things, it's not a good show. That's the way that they see it. Look, before 2014, like when all these things started to kick into high gear, because I noticed it was around 2014 when I started to see all of this woke stuff, the transgenderism, the 50 genders, the all these things, diversity and inclusion, enforcing it. And by the way, forcing it in TV shows. They're not doing it with respect, because what they're doing here, they're disrespecting Tolkien and his work. They're disrespecting it. They're not adding diversity respectfully. They're forcing it on every freaking movie and TV show now. Before 2014, a lot of movies were perfect. The original Lord of the Rings movies that came out in the 2000s, those were perfect. Those were great. So this movie, this series, The Rings of Power, is dead on arrival. I'm telling you, it is dead on arrival. I'm telling you right now. Everybody freaking hates this thing. I mean, take a look at this. Take a look at this. Okay, first of all, she's wearing armor. Where are her boobs? Where's she's not. This is manly armor. She's not wearing, like, the breast armor for women, right? It's kind of ridiculous because of course she's probably a transgender warrior or elf or whatever, right? Of course they had to have. Hold on, let me see if I can't zoom in, but they had to add diversity and inclusion. First of all, this is based on European mythology. Tolkien wrote this for Britain, for Europe, right? And back then in the early 1900s, 1920s, 1930s, down in England, England was not diverse back then. There weren't a lot of African people in England living there. There were not. Okay? And you can look at statistics of immigration back then. There isn't. I'm telling you this as a Spanish person. I'm Latino. Okay? I'm a quote unquote minority in America. Okay? So they had to add this because, well, it's for everybody. When I first watched Lord of the Rings back in the 2000s, never in my mind did I ever thought, gee, if only they look like me. Gee, how come I've never seen an elf that looks like a Spanish person? Right? It never crossed my mind to think that way because the story itself was absolutely amazing. Right? But now, all of a sudden, if characters don't look like you, then you cannot relate. This is bullcrap. Okay? And this is supposed to be a female dwarf, but female dwarves are supposed to have beards, and she doesn't have one. I wonder why they did that. I don't know. Okay, then we have the Don Lemon. We have the Don Lemon from CNN looking character. Because of course, right? Because of course. It's dead on arrival. Anything that basically just goes woke, when they add all of these things, all of this, that when they force diversity and when they add identity politics into this crap, it ruins it. It ruins it, I tell you. Oh, man. Such an amazing story. Such an amazing franchise with billions of fans all over the world. So many countries throughout the world know about Lord of the Rings. All over Europe, South America, Japan. But hey, I mean, if it's not diverse, if it doesn't have identity politics, inclusion, if it's not woke, then it's not gonna sell. That's what they think. I cannot wait for this thing to crash and burn because it deserves it. They keep ruining these freaking franchises. By the way, this is one of the reasons why I don't talk about Hollywood movies on my channel. I like to make fun of them, but I don't talk about it on my channel because of crap like this. I don't have a lot of good things to say about Hollywood nowadays. So that's why I just stay away from it. Sometimes I'll talk about a movie. I talked about The Matrix. I talked about Spider-Man, but I don't talk about like too many Hollywood movies or or things that are happening in Hollywood too much because of this crap. Okay? Everything that I used to love, they fucked it up. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like the video, comment below, tell me what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This is Andy Matrix. Godspeed.